Hi, my name is Tanya Kirkwood. This is my first year in the MSW program at Aurora University and my fourth course at Aurora. I have no social work experience. Prior to deciding to get my master's in social work, I obtained my bachelor's degree in psychology, and I also have an associate's degree in education. I've worked for the last 12 years prior to working for the federal government as an educator, working with children, small children, and then running my own daycare center. My hopes, once I've completed my master's degree, is to become a veteran counselor at one of the veteran hospitals, which are ran by the federal government, of course. Over the years, I've worked with people from many different cultural backgrounds. I would define culture as it's like a person's personality, basically. It what makes you who you are. It's not of a single person, but it's of a group of people. And personality, of course, is what defines a person the most and what helps them identify themselves. I identify as an African American heterosexual female. I can't recall any type of developmental impact that growing up as an African American female has caused me over the years. For someone who grew up in the South back in the 1970s, I went to a predominantly Caucasian school, rode the school bus with Caucasian children, played with Caucasian children. I can't really say that being an African American female growing up as a child, I wasn't really impacted that much. The only impact that I can honestly say I that could have possibly impacted development for me was when I began working in corporate America and realized that me as an African American female and the other African American females were rarely being recognized as a group separate or distinct from the African American men, and nor were we being presented as part of the larger group of women. My work and contributions were not well known or being as recognized as the African American male or my female white counterparts. Outside of that, as an adult, the other thing that I would mention would be growing up as a child, being looked at as being unattractive. Not just unattractive, but being one of the most unattractive of the whole, of all the basically female race, because being African American and having the ethical features of an African American woman. In order to be a good social worker, I know that I need to understand that race and ethnicity plays an important role in the shaping of who we are, basically, and how we understand race and as part of our identity. It's a part of our history, and it's a part of our social institutions, and definitely a part of our everyday lives. There are clients and people that I will be interacting with that based on preconceived inferiority or because they were members of subordinate groups, historically they have been victims, of discriminations victims of oppression and victims of racism. So it's important as a social worker to be skilled in these particular areas so that you would know how to handle a client who comes to you and may have been a victim of these type of discriminations, so that you can be able to properly assist them or provide the necessary resources for them to get the help that they need. In my thoughts, or any other thoughts that I may have regarding race, culture, and ethnicity, is that regarding race, culture, and ethnicity as a whole, people in general, we have our own ignorant prejudices about things that we don't understand. I also feel that race is a label given to people based on primarily their physical characteristics and skin tones. While culture is a shared belief and a shared value, such as the notation of good versus bad and right versus wrong. I also am inclined to believe that each person may, see that cultural, they may see culture from a different perspective. I don't think that my values or beliefs will impact my relationship with my clients at all, because I understand that I'm there to help my client, and I'm there to help my clients meet their goals according to whatever their value is. So I understand, without having any social work experience, that imposing my own personal values on someone, especially a client, someone who's coming to me for help, and could make them, at best, leave me and seek out professional help or guidance somewhere else, or at worst cause more pain or cause them to hurt more. So that's something that I definitely would not want to do. I would take my client for face value and not be judgmental or try and impose my own thoughts or values or beliefs on them. As far as how I would approach the cultural aspect, the topic of culture with my patients, I know that is a subject that I would have to approach be culturally sensitive about. Absolutely knowing that I would have to have good knowledge and understanding of cultural groups with the particular group of people that I'm working with. And I understand that it's a critical skill, knowing when to generalize and when to individualize what I'm saying to to my patient. I must be able to, as a therapist, to recognize when and how cultural values or cultural group characteristics may be relevant to the client's problems, but also to see the client as an individual, which is something that I would definitely want to be skilled at, because I would not want to stereotype a client and or be offensive to a client in any way. I have a lot to learn, I know, and I'm hopeful that I will get the things that I need from the courses that I'm taking here at AU. I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I look forward to working with each of you throughout the semester. And best wishes and good night.